It's quality home cooking that I want to share with the world. It's not that I'm doing this solely to make money. It is literally to share the flavours that Sri Lanka has to offer. I didn't go down that cultural norm of going to uni, getting married, having a good job. I was almost perceived as just reckless and just not having myself together, but it turns out that I always knew what I wanted to do straight out of high school. I just didn't know how to get there. So I really struggled in figuring out what it is that I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be. I had no idea what this business was going to look like when I started it. I just knew I wanted to do it. I was really passionate about cooking, and again, because culturally I didn't fit into this box, I struggled accepting culture. I struggled accepting who I was, accepting the way I was supposed to be. So through food, it just allowed me to accept all of the stuff that I tried to reject. Moving to Australia really young, moving to a country I knew nothing about, my parents knew nothing about, it was hard to fit in. So I wanted to be like everybody else. But through food, it showed me that people really wanted to know about the culture and know about our ways. But I can now sort of go out into the community and be like, this is what I am. Do you love it? And they do. They love our food. They love the hospitality that Sri Lanka has to offer. And I've incorporated all of it into my business. It was always about Sri Lanka. It was always about culture and tradition, which is funny in itself because I never accepted the culture and tradition, but I always knew I wanted a business that showed it. So two worlds have collided for me to be able to do this world of now, like the Western world that I'm living in, and this world that I tried to assimilate into, and then a world that I tried to push away. And when I combined those two worlds together, it literally exploded into what Food by Shykha is. It's my dad's tradition and my mom's culture and everything entangled into my way of life. So the food that we have in the business is very much a first and second generation entanglement. So the flavours that I bring in are my own, and then the flavours that Dad brings in are his own, but it all is very authentic to what our culture is. Dandenong Market is one of the biggest markets that I go to. It has a huge variety of the vegetables that Sri Lanka uses. So ridge loofah, for example, ash plantain, okra, bittergourd. It has all the meats and the fishes and the veggies that we need. So I will do my own market shop. I have friends at the market, suppliers that I'll go and chat to and see where the best produce is. The essence of this business for me is almost a small batch mentality where we're able to keep the quality of what we do in small batches. I guess in some sense I might be limiting ourselves, but at the same time it allows me to explore more of what we do from a quality perspective rather than from a quantity perspective. A small batch to me means that I have time to put my soul into what I do. The passion that I have for this business is it's something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, since I was really, really little. I never saw us on like a big conglomerate scale. I really saw us as a boutique, small scale, family run business. I grew up with food being a huge part of my family. So I have a huge family, and we grew up with constantly having dinner parties at our house, constantly people coming over to eat my dad's food, to eat what my parents have cooked. When I'm cooking now, it throws me back to when I was little and smelling the flavours of what my parents were cooking, and now I'm creating those same flavours in my own house. It's a big thing for me to cook for my parents still and to have them enjoy a meal, because they have high standards, and I think that that's one of the cultural standards that I struggle to reach. It's just to give back to my parents what they gave me for so long as a kid and growing up, with everything that they've done for us. I think my parents, to see me doing what I'm doing based on what I've seen them doing growing up, is actually a big thing for them. To see that I finally embraced the culture and I'm sharing what I would share with my family, with my community. I have a lot of love for my customers for loving what we do. But the relationship that I have with my customers is for the purpose of sharing what my family has. So they're accepting, they're taking what we have, and I'm all for it. Sri Lankan cuisine is an entanglement of flavours through fresh produce that incorporates tradition, and I'm proud to be able to share my culture and tradition with the community.